Welcome, Stanley. I'm so happy to have you here with me. How are you today?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me, Catherine. It's beautiful.
It's my pleasure, and I know it is very early. You are in Australia, right? So, thank you for waking up to record this interview. I'm truly grateful. Um, I was impressed when I spoke with you. We connected a month or so ago. You actually created a specific numerology system called the ESP system, right? Would you like to share a little bit about it? Like, why did you do that?
I guess for 21 years, I've been uh, a wisdom seeker, Catherine, always seeking in life, and different modalities led me to study numerology and astrology from different methods. And I had my own Swami that taught me some parts of the code, and then I took it to another level, and I created it because I really wanted to help people gain clarity and purpose, if you will, with knowing their own code, because I seen how powerful numerology and astrology was within myself. So as a child, always wanting to seek, and when you mold your skills into a certain modality like the ESP code, the essence, soul, and purpose, you genuinely want to help people with that type of modality, because I think people can be appreciate when you have clarity in life, and my way of doing it is through numbers.
I love that. I love when you combine science with a life purpose. I think that's very powerful. I was a very scientific person until few events happened, so my awakening started, and I am very much interested in these kinds of things. Shall we make an example based on my birth date, maybe, so we can share what it really means?
Yeah, that'd be fine. No problem. We can do the ESP code on your birthday.
Because I'm absolutely amazed for the fact I saw it on your website that, for example, if I'm correct, Nikola Tesla and Steve Jobs have the exact same code, and I was absolutely like, in shock because those two people are actually two of my most favorite people in the world who made a huge difference. So, I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think anything is a coincidence. So, yeah, let's see. I was born on 2nd September 1982.
Beautiful. So, your day and month in its simplistic is your sun and moon merged as one. So, if you look at the yin yang symbol and we see sun and moon, it's like male, female, it's the merging of those two planets. Because when we look up in the sky with our naked eye, we see the sun and moon as the prevalent um, energies, if you will. And so the sun is like a transmitter and the moon is a receiver. It's like a vortex of a radio station frequency. So your identity number when you're tuning is the merging of your day and month. So if we go 2 plus September, which is a 9, so 2 plus 9 equals 11. If we narrow that down to a single digit, 1 plus 1 is 2. So your identity number is a 2. Same as my identity, Catherine. So twos are very giving people, have a very good heart. They know how to um, uh, uh, it's the Mother Mary energy. They know how to choose about speaking, choose about um, choose are very good in the legality side of things, and it's when you operate with those frequencies of two and giving of energy, we are guided from above us to help us. So that's your first number. Your second number is your type of identity. So in its simplistic, it is Mercury to Pluto merged. So if we go in your year of birth, so if we go 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 2, we get 20. And if we narrow that down to a single digit, 2 plus 0 equals 2. So your second number is also a 2. And so you definitely have twos of speaking, like you're doing, say, with your podcast show, but you're definitely a very giving person, and know how to talk. So that's your second number. Your character or your life path is what people normally know in numerology when they go onto the computer and check, for example.
Mhm.
And in your case, it is the merging of all the planets in our system. So your identity is a two, your type of identity is a two, so your character and life path is a four. Two plus two is four. So fours are people that like structure. They can very hardworking. The psychology, studying people, research, investigative. A lot of fours can work backwards, and they're good with their hands, uh, like the numbers or the numerical side of things. So that's your third number. And we have also an essence, soul, and purpose. So in your case, that's like your higher self number. That's like your subconscious number. And that is the merging of your current three numbers. So if we go two plus four, we get eight. So your ESP is an eight. The eight can be money, but because it's your last number, it's auspicious in all fields. So it's like being fulfilled and abundant in all elements, if you will. So your code is 2248. Uh, um, so when you mention Nikola Tesla and Steve Jobs having their ESP code as 8212, they also have two twos in their code. You have two twos, but it's a different sequence and some other different numbers. Your numbers are also um, very similar as a former US president. And you also mentioned synchronicity. There's no such, deja vu coincidence, which is synchronicity that Carl Jung termed, the term synchronicity. And you also wrote a book on ESP, but standing for extrasensory perception, where the code that I've created with the acronym is essence, soul, and purpose. And I remember when we spoke, we we're collectively connected, everyone, collective cosmic consciousness. That's what true singularity. And like even my godmother's born the same day and month as you, and she has the same code as you. And I thought,
Yes.
wow, like the probabilities of those, you know, amplify. So I see synchronicities, if you will, Catherine, through numbers in people, and also in the Chinese, you're a water dog, so you're smart and wise, and and your code thus is 2248, Catherine.
Wow. This gave me goosebumps. Although I already knew we spoke about all of this, and you know how powerful this is, and this is why I wanted to have you on my podcast. Imagine if just so easily, and I can just imagine how deeply you can actually go. People realize what is their higher like potential. They wouldn't struggle in the wrong careers, in the wrong life paths. They would much easier step into their own greatness, and that would be incredible. Like, you calculated the code for my son, and it ends up that he has the same code as that guy who founded Google. And I was like, okay, what mom's not going to finish, he will. you know? And I remember when we spoke the first time, you mentioned seeing Tesla's car right before the interview, and we were late. You remember that we connected exactly at 11:22 because I messed up the email address, and I told you that I was about to get ready to watch the Tesla's movie. So. Yeah, I see synchronicities also everywhere, and I like to pay attention to it and to actually search for the meaning of it. And what you are doing, I think it's truly, truly valuable. But I would like you to explain people a little bit more. How is your system actually different than other systems which exist in numerology?
Yes, and I totally agree in the power of people knowing their purpose. People can maximize their productivity and complement their weaknesses, and it's very important. So with the ESP code, Catherine, it's more like a holistic blueprint, if you will, of a person's soul. So it's taking a four-numbered code as opposed to just one. So we're looking deeper within our own biorhythms or cycles, if you will. So because we know your code is 2248 and not just say four, you're finding more archetypes about yourself. So when we go deeper, we then begin to understand, like you mentioned before, the synchronicities around us, and we're thinking, "Wow, this deja vu coincidence, this repetitiveness. There's a reason. There's a sign behind it, And when people know themselves deeper at a holistic level, they're happier, they add more value, and this, when they study their archetypes, they'll know that their guardian, guides, and angels around them, and seeing the synchronicity around them, like on a car plate, or just before the Tesla movie, or a shirt number, or like you mentioned at 1122's different meanings. And there's a reason why we're connected, because I'm a master number 33. We're 1122 is 33, and when we connected, and people seeing that, they're in flow. When they're in flow, as I said, they're much happier. And when people are much happier, they're creators because they can add value. And Nikola Tesla also mentioned, the day science begins to study non-physical phenomenon, it will make progress in one decade than in all prior centuries. So the real spiritual world is in the ether, and Tesla knew that. Um, and that's the beauty of knowing ourselves more deeper. And both Jobs and Tesla appreciated Indian wisdom. And Tesla collaborated with Swami Vivekananda in Chicago. So, and we know that Jobs went to India, and he also told Mark Zuckerberg to go. And as you mentioned, the Google charity founder Lawrence Brilliance also went. So the Eastern mysticism, which is what my code is based on at its fundamental, with the Vedas, if you will, and the Vedanta and the Sanatana Dharma, it's a much more deeper holistic level of a person's blueprint. And that's why it's powerful, because it adds, ultimately when we're doing our purpose, we're happy. And that's where the true science lies in people, is to be happy, truly happy.
Yes, yes. I'm smiling because yesterday I published something which is like, I will reintroduce myself very soon again because now I'm stepping in my purpose. Like I feel and I want to be the voice of freedom because of all my experiences which I had, so that I can help people to actually set themselves free. And you are one of the people who activated that thought, because when we spoke, I told you that I am searching for a specific book, which I know that I need to read. I feel that I need to read, but I cannot find it anywhere. And I went to see the movie, and I saw that exact book on a bookshelf in a store, like next to the movie, like, to the cinema. And I was like, seriously? Like, and I went, and it was the last copy. It was Tesla's autobiography. He wrote it. It's called My Inventions. And actually, what I discovered is that he, even a century and a half ago, respected numbers, and I read that on your website also. He understood it perfectly, but he was also practicing meditation and all these, like, we are discovering now new aspects. He knew that before, just he was calling it differently, but it was perfectly set. And I just thought, yeah, that's it. Like, yeah, I'm on the right path, and I couldn't wait for you to reconnect with me and actually to share this story. um, how this can help people, not just in terms of finding their own path and actually like living more fulfilled, but in a general more way. I can see this solving a lot of problems and issues and conflicts and, all the mess that is going on in the world, because I believe that people who are in alignment with themselves don't need to create conflicts. What do you think about that?
No, very much so, because this is why I have the term learn, live, and love your essence, soul, and purpose. So the learn is the ESP code. The live is live your journey, which is your numbers, your journey. So when you're living your journey, you don't worry about the things around you, because you're so encompassed in really helping humanity. And that's where the third part is elevate, collaborate. So people are all in sync with each other, because there's so much abundance out there. And when we're happier and we're adding value, conflict really is irrelevant, because we look for solutions. We're problem solvers. and and just like yourself, in stepping into your spiritual linkage, if you will, and your Serbian background, and also the link with Tesla, um, uh, all those other stuff, and even with what's going on with 2020 and 2021 with the changes, if you will, we know how to maneuver through all that, because when you know your purpose, we have a target. We know how to reach it because we know how to connect with the right people around us and mold our own Picasso, our own jigsaw puzzle, if you will, because Catherine has her own soul. Stanley has his own soul. All the people out there do, and there's no reason why we can't connect along that journey to maximize our productivity and complement our weaknesses. And again, comes down to fulfillment of your ESP, which again is just simply is we're happy doing what we're meant to be doing.
Mm.
And this is the beauty of when we are at our soul level, if you will.
Yeah, it's actually living a joy. And I see this also as something that's very helpful for businesses since, I work as a business coach. This truly can be beneficial so that businesses are oriented to something which is much more purposeful. And actually, if CEOs and decision makers realize what you just explained, then I believe that their decisions might be much more beneficial for the whole humanity. So as you can see, I'm looking like much wider and higher, and I think that you can help in that terms a lot. What do you think about that?
Yes, definitely. CEOs, business leaders, and also spiritual seekers are looking for certainty on their decision making because these people are stressed. They need decisions in the moment. Sometimes a day, 2, 3 days is too late. So when they're connected to me, I help realign their soul. So just like a chiropractor or an osteopath, or people go to acupuncturist or doing yoga, meditation, tai chi, if you will, qigong, they're realigning their bodies or their souls or their energy. I do it through numbers and help them when they're connected to me understand themselves and their team around them and how to maneuver with the decision making so they're accurate in their next move because CEOs are under a lot of pressure and they've got to make sure the team around them is very is running like a unit and their joint ventures or purchasing of big deals is done at the right time and that's where I can help them with their code. It's like a aptitude test. Also, when studying psychology and human resource management, looking to find the right careers for people, it all comes down to really the correct decisions in the moment,
Exactly.
and that's why it's molding the Picasso. So they get the next jigsaw puzzle and they've put it in. It fits. This is now I'm beginning to see, and we all want certainty in decision making, but and there's no different with CEOs wanting that as well.
Exactly. And I see this as a superpower, actually. They might be even a step in front of everyone else if they, just have a system to make decisions on time or even faster. I was on Goldman Sachs webinar lately, and they actually mentioned two ways of decision making: intuitive and, like what we are used to. And I was very surprised that an institution like that is like putting on the table intuitive decision making. And I think that your method actually can even help much deeper than just an intuition, because there is a foundation for that. Because in just few minutes you described me like I know myself, and I would like everyone else to know me. So I think that's perfect. Okay, so now we're going to do the second part of the interview. I will ask you very quick questions, and you have 10 seconds to answer for me. Just a little pressure now.
No
And
problem. Awesome.
you will hear the ring bell when the time is up. Okay?
Oh,
You ready?
okay, I'm ready. Yes.
Always. Okay. What's your favorite book?
Yeah, I like autobiographical Yogananda,
Mm,
Swami Yogananda.
awesome. Um, Tell us a little bit more. Why? I mean, this is not a quick
It's
question.
the spiritual mysticism of the East, and because I had my own Swami as well, so I know that was my path to learn with the mysticism.
Mm, beautiful. What do you like to do in your spare time?
I like seeking and watching reading a good book, but more importantly now is just watching really good documentaries on the internet, like on YouTube, but really good things, truth-seeking things.
Oh, I love that too. Actually, I'm watching them like always. And what would be your advice for people who are not exactly where, but they are tapping into the awareness of, having the potential and actually having the life purpose. Uh, what would you advise for them where to start?
Yeah, no, keep seeking and validate with two or three different people to get a feel for yourself, because it is our own fulfillment that we're meant to be doing. So take different modalities from different people and mold your Picasso. So always seek like a child.
Ah, that's so lovely. I love that. Thank you so much for being my guest. I truly enjoyed. And tell us where people can find you, how they can reach out to you, and you know what we can expect of your magic in 2021.
Yes, they can go to my website, Catherine. I've spelt it purposely with an E, not an I. It's Zeneth, Zeneth, and then culture, culture.com. And there's a lot of information in on the footer is my social media handles, and they can go to the different channels and look at the content. And I'm very prevalent also on LinkedIn. If they just Google my name, Stanley Tsiamoulis, that's pretty much all the information's on the site, and there are any connections there, and they can reach out to me if they want. I have my phone number there, my email, contact page, and I'm more than happy to provide 30-minute free strategy numerology session calls to people, so they begin to see a little bit about themselves and their archetypes, and to see if they want to further work with me. And I'd love to help them.
Beautiful. We will leave the links in the description of this podcast episode so they can reach out to you. Thank you so much once again. I truly enjoyed, and I hope you did too.
No, I did, Catherine. It's been awesome. It's always a pleasure talking to people that understand Tesla. So it's beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.